there, guys, your boy Fluffy Peanuts once again. I got another build for you, okay? Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, that bell icon, so that way you get notified every time I go live and I post a new video. Okay, make sure you guys check out the Mobilytics. The Mobilytics for this is going to be linked in the description. Okay, you're going to have a navigator. I put it on my main profile. I got a lot of builds so far. Okay, and leveling, guys, to get you through the campaign as well. Also for the Spirit Walker Huntress right here, okay? And I went from... I did it by 10 levels. Okay, every 10 levels, okay? Well, and I did it to where if you were just starting out the game, okay? So making it easier on you guys. So with that being said, enough of me talking about that. Let's get into this and do this deep dive, and hopefully you guys enjoyed those clips, okay? All right, so let's get into it. All right, first off, we're going to start off with our skills here. As you can tell, I'm doing a dual weapon set, but I'm not doing a traditional like everybody else is posting. Okay, we are doing the hammer, and we got one set with the hammer, we got another set with the hammer, but we got one with the scepter and one with a unique scepter. Okay, so with that being said, we'll start off here on the skill side of the things. Okay, we're going to do vulnerability for single targeting. Okay, all right, so basically what this does, it makes us break through the armor. If you don't know what's breaking armor going to do for us, is that physical damage. Okay, and our monkey does a lot of physical damage. That's his main thing. He doesn't have no elemental stuff unless you get the modifiers for it. Okay, but alright, so this is going to increase the single target DPS. So we're going to go with the Curse Ground, a Biting Hex in it, and we're going to do Heightened Curse. Then we're going to move up to the Mark. Okay, Sniper Mark. Okay, it gives us an additional critical hit chance on the marked enemies, and also when you quality it as well. When you give this a little quality, it's going to give us additional 15% when you max it out. So with this being said, you definitely want to get all your skills up to 21. I will recommend skill gems 21 with plus 23%. Okay, if you can afford it on quality. If not, just go with the 19s and just upgrade it when you hit the 20s. All right, so with that being said, right here, we're going to go ahead with the Mark for Death 2. We're going to do Charge Mark. We're going to do Prolonged Duration 2. And we're going to do Eternal Mark. Then we're going to go up to the traditional minion builds, which give us an increased DPS. We're going to use Pain Offering, all right, with the Prolonged Duration 2. And we're going to do Me Shield 2, Dance, Macabre. And we're going to do also Expanse, all right. Then now we're going to the fun part. We're going to be looking at our Tame Minion here, which is our, well, Tame Companion Minion, same thing. All right, right now, I only got a level 19. Like I said, I've been grinding. I can only grind so much. I got a full-time job, so I can't really get into the deepness like everybody else has already moved on to different builds and so on and so forth. I'm still working on this one, because I do also want to do a leveling guy will be coming out as well for a sorceress. I want to do Castle with Castle Annulment with that build and try to get our Comet going again. Okay, so with that being said, let's get back into this campaign. All right, so you're going to want your companion, the monkey, but you're going to want the monkey that's in the maps. You can also use this build for the monkey that's also on the maps, not maps, but in the campaign. When you get them in Act 3, you can do that as well. It's the same amount of DPS and everything with the monkey, but between the two, the only difference in on mapping, you can actually get him to have additional modifiers. Okay. All right, like as you can tell here, I still haven't gotten the extra crit modifier that we want for our monkey. I still have not gotten it yet. I have been very unfortunate. So when it comes to the mapping, because you can only get this guy on 2 different maps on the maps. Okay, so it's going to be Riverside, there's going to be one, and Rupture is where you're going to find this guy. Okay, so when you do that, though, you want to put in your tablets. Okay, in your tablets, you're going to want these right here. All right, anything that has this, unique monsters have 1 additional rare modifier. All right, I have 3 of them here. Okay, so when you juice up your maps, I've been doing the 3, so that way I have 3 revives, so I can keep resetting it. All right, so I let him kill me. All right, if he doesn't have the modifiers of 1, so that way when you spawn right back in, it will turn around and have a different set of modifiers. But if you really wanted to, I would do that strat first, so that way you get that extra crit. and additional damage modifiers or whatever it gives you. But the most important thing, the number one thing you're going to want the extra crit, what would be ideal is extra crit and haste aura will be ideal, or haste in general on top of that. Then I would get him first, then I would go back while you're mapping and stuff, and just when you come to a riverside or a rupture, I would just max tear it out for your waystone. Okay, so that way you can get 3 additional modifiers, and when you do your atlas, blah blah blah, you'll be able to put rare, make your tablets rare and stuff. But you don't really need to for this strat. It could be a blue. Just make sure it has unique monsters have 1 additional rare modifiers. Okay. So basically, with that being said, we're gonna go back. Obviously, I don't have them yet. All right, but I am still cooking everything. Everything's getting obliterated with this build right now. What I got going on right here, this is for the level 2. Well, wait a minute, that's for the dusk. Okay, different companion. All right, I'm doing 249 with 415,000 DPS. Okay, now when I switch to my weapon set 1, okay, which is my main DPS bossing one, I get 451 with 684 DPS. Okay, and my gear is not maxed out. We'll go over that later. So what I do to counteract the hasteness, okay, I went and I found a Dire Tux boar. I don't know if this is the best companion. Some people say it is. I have no idea. Okay, I would like to find me a Giga Wasp with the haste aura. That will be awesome. But I found this dire Tusk board. Okay, I got this guy in Act 3. Okay, when the dual bosses are there at that encampment, once you get 2 rares right there, you know, that's where I got this guy at. He has haste aura and he's armor. I only got him because he has haste aura, which also gives our increases our attack speed and spell casting, and also movement speed for our companions. Okay, so that's why I went with him. So now for the head crusher, this is what I put in there. So I know it's not traditional. Okay, don't hate on me. Feeding Frenzy 2, I put Heft, I put Hulking Minions, Calling Strike 2, and I also put Mustard. Calling Strike is very interesting because you can automatically kill something with a unique or rare. Now if you look at the stats for this, the Calling Strike is right here. Items or monsters rarity can be normal gray. Wait a minute, right here. Okay, Calling Strike kills normal enemies for if their life is at 35% or below. Magic enemies are instead killed at 20%, rare at 10%, unique at 5%, so on and so forth. Check before damage of the hit is applied. So that's why we're using Calling Strike. And we're also using Rage to get his DPS going up for each hit. Okay, and we're now, Calling Strike. Then okay, the Dire Tusk, we're doing Loyalty, so they mitigate damage for 10%. Okay, Feeding Frenzy, Hulking Minions, Rage 3, so to keep that DPS going, and Mustard for every 7% for each minion and companion that we have on this build. Now we're doing the traditional cleric. We're doing rapid casting, death march, magnified area, minion mastery, and we get the Brutus rating. I'm surprised the Brutus ratings they're actually pretty cheap. Then we do Skeleton Reaver. I just put a lesser jeweler's orb in it. Okay, we don't really care too much about this guy. This guy you don't have to really level up, but you can if you want to get the extra DPS. We're just basically using this guy as sacrifice for the pain offering. That's why we got Sacrifice Lamb 2 in there, so it automatically targets him. Alright, so that let's do my weapon set. Okay, then the other one I have on here, which is obviously our Wild Protector, and we're doing Loyalty, Feeding Frenzy 2, Rage 3, and Rapid Attacks. Okay, obviously I don't have a 5 socket yet because I'm not level 90, but that will be updated on Mobilytics, just to let you all know. Okay, so make sure you guys track it and keep an eye on it. Alright, now I want to switch over to my second weapon set too. What we're doing is Asmarian Wolf. Okay, we're going with Loyalty, Feeding Frenzy 2, Behead 2, and we'll also do Bending 3 on him. Then we're doing Spirit Vessel. Spirit Vessel, what I've done, I went with the Wolf. I know a lot of people are doing max DPS single target. You want to do the Wyvern skills. Okay, and do Oil Barrage. I'm bouncing back and forth between the two. I'm not too sure how I feel about it. But if you want for map clearing, the wolf is the one you want to go with. And the only way to be able to use this from our chest piece for spirit vessels, you guys got to pick the skills that are used by the druid. So the wyvern, was it the wyvern, wolf, the bear? Okay, so you got to pick out of those threes of their skills, okay, that they have, okay, and that's how you get that spirit to pop up, okay, on your spirit vessel off your chest piece. Okay, so I went with the wolf. Lunar Assault, Lunar Blessing, Rage 3, and Feeding Frenzy 2. And we also got Wolf Pack right here. So this is a pretty awesome skill spirit gem to have of the Wolf Pack, because the higher the skill level of your spirit gem, the more wolves will pop out, okay, of the pack. So we went with Feeding Frenzy 2, Muster to give our DPS as we got multiple heft, and we went with Loyalty and Hulking Minions. Alright, so that is it for the skill gems itself. So now you guys are probably wondering why I put Muster on everything. It's because on this I have like 7 or 8 different minions, right, that I'm using, like 7 minions I'm using. That's 35% extra DPS, okay, for our minions as well. So that's why I'm putting that. I'm pretty much on everything. And you also notice that I mentioned loyalty. Loyalty stacks. So the more each one of these, you can only put the loyalty on spirits. So for every spirit you have, you can put a loyalty on it. It gives us a stacking bonus right here, as 10% would go directly to the minion itself, and it deviates some more like a defense, because obviously we're a Huntress. We don't have much defense options to us, so we're just going to keep stacking evasion and reflection, if you will. All right, so with that being said, that is all the skills. Now we're going to move over here to, all right, we're going to move over here to our gear. We're going to go with these hammers, the chopper chambers. If you've noticed, none of my gear is really mid tier or maxed out either. Okay, so these right here are actually expensive if you get it with lower intelligence, because when we have this, we're doing giants, I think it's giant's blood. All right, so basically all of our stats for our weapons triple. So we're going to be using, when you do your gear, you're going to be wanting to get giant's blood, and you want to see especially with the hammer, on what you're going to be dealing with on the cost, okay, of your attributes on it. So like, as you can see right here, I got 180 strength, 234 intelligence is what this thing requires to put on. The reason why we're putting this on, and for one, it gives us spirit, 2, gives us physical damage, which is also going to help us on our ascendancy. All right, I'll show you that after this. And we also get minion skills, okay. So we're getting minion skills, which tops out at 4. So the best one to get will be a +4 to minion skills with a low intelligence requirement. Okay, but what I did, I went and I bought the base of these with the +3 minion skills on it already, and I just Val orbed it all, hoping and praying that I get something. All right, so what I did, I took the best of the best out of all of them, okay, and I just did the intelligence. I hit the ones that said intelligence of +3 because I did not hit a +4. So that's what I did for this. This is why we're using this hammer, because the physical damage is gonna immensely be important when we go and we look at our ascendancy class, because it's part of our ascendancy. All right, the same thing right here. I did that on my second weapon set as well. Just pretty much the same thing. I just picked the 2 lowest intelligent requirements that I had. All right, so we're gonna move over to our range. We want nothing but minion damage range with resistances. If you can get them on there, it's gonna be really hard to max out your resist on this build, because you're gonna require a lot of attributes. So what I did, I just focused more on the passage tree of evasion rating and gain reflection, and on my armor set here, I just want straight invasion rating. All right, so on our range, we're gonna want critical hit chance, at least critical hit chance and damage mods for the minions, and you're going to want to try to figure out how much attributes you're going to be needed if you're going to use the hammer. I do got a build. It's supposed to, the mobile analytics will say it all. Okay, this is like starting to get close to that mid-tier maxing, okay, for this build currently, but I got separate tabs on each one of these that show you the like the different variations of that I've went up, okay, cost-wise. All right, so we're gonna do minions. We're basically minion modifiers on our rings. Same thing over here for the other rings. Obviously, I went with a little bit of resistance, increased life and critical hit chances are going to be the main thing I want because we want our monkey to crit. That's what we're basing it off of. All right, then we go up here to the amulet as well. I went and got a +4 to minion skills. Honestly, this was pretty cheap, dude. It was like 30 div. Okay, I found this. It's probably going to go up, obviously, but as of right now, it was 30 div. And I made sure I had nothing. I just did nothing but attribute stacking for it. I wasn't really worried about energy shield or anything like that. And I went with spirit as well, because we're going to be dip, duck, dodge, and diving, okay, while we're in the maps. All right, so you're actually going to have to work with this minion build. And we went with a, you know, traditional 35% movement speed, okay, and I try to get as much cheaply, I should say, as much evasion rating as I could. And obviously I added some dexterity and some little bit of attributes with resistances on here. You're going to notice a lot of my gear does not have rarity. It's so hard to get rarity when you're doing this build. So keep that in mind. Alright, then with our belt, we did the same thing. All I did was just life, basically defense stacking with the attribute stacking. Okay, then over here on our gloves, I did the same thing. I went with defense with attribute stacking as well. Try to get as much evasion as I could cheaply. Alright, same thing with our freaking helmet here. I went with plus of the minion skills, and I went attribute stacking with resistance, obviously. Okay, then we're going to look at our chest piece here. This is very viable. This is what I was talking about when you want your the druid skills, like the wyvern, the boar, not the boar, the wyvern, bear, and wolf skills. Okay, this is what this is for, because it grants us the skill level 19. A spirit vessel, you get 20, man, it starts getting stupid expensive. And the main reason why people are using this, so for one, we get another spirit, but it also helps us with our deflection and evasion rating as well. Okay, so this is really good, very viable, and we get a little bit of dex out of it, and we also get minions get an increase in life. Okay, then we're going to look at our other unique here, which is going to be the Sylvan's efficiency or effigy. I went with the cheap one. Okay, obviously it's not maxed here. You can vow this and get that companions deal a lot more damage, even higher. Okay, but I didn't, and I just tried to find the cheapest one I could. I only played like 8 div for this thing, and I went with 75% increased spirit, which is the max that you can get on that. Alright, the main reason why we want this is for the spirit. Number 2 is for the Asmarian wolf, so we get another companion. Alright, and the main reason why this thing is so viable is because people have been using this on the second weapon set, because if you look, companions deal 67% increased damage to your marked targets. What do we mark? How we marking it? Do we have the skill for marking it? To mark our targets? We do. It's called a sniper's mark. Okay, it increases our crit chance, right? So that's very important. That's why people use this a lot. And they just do a dual scepter type of deal with the same scepter. And I like my DPS. So, and now we're going to look at skill 2. Skill 2 right here. Not skill 2, but weapon set 2. What we're using is critical hit chance, attack speed, and critical damage with spirit, and also minion skills is what I'm using on this. And it seems like I've been doing just great. This is the weapon set 1 for me. I use it for boss killing, and it works great. I am one-shotting almost everything, 1 or 2 hits maybe, because it gets get that critical strike going. All right, and we're only at like 80%, I believe, on critical damage. Not critical damage, or critical percentage. For the monkey, what are we at here? Yeah, we're only at 80% crit chance. Ideally, you want to try to get up to 100% as much as you can. There is a jewel that people are using from Nothing Diamond. I'll talk about that when we go over the skills. Okay, So I think that's pretty much it for the gear wise. All right, now let's look at our passive skills here. Our passive tree here, this is what I was talking about for the flat damage for our hammer. Okay, companions gain added attack damage equal to 60% of your main hand's weapon. So 60% of that damage that our weapon can do, it also applies to our companions. That's why we want to go with that hammer, because it gets flat physical damage. Okay, makes our guy much stronger. So basically what I did, you want to grab all your companion nodes, okay, that do DPS, all right, and some efficiency nodes up here, as you can tell. Now, once I get up more in levels, I'm going to be moving over here for evasion ratings, okay, try to get a little bit more survivability. But unfortunately, for companions, there's not that much DPS nodes that are there. Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm doing all of them right now. Alright, so you can easily tear that out. Now, what's a good thing about the companions, they're also count as minions. Alright, I'm going to tell you what the little thing I'm about to do on this. I'm about to show you. Alright, then we're also going with attributes right here. That I needed to do that to be able to use the hammer and stuff. Okay, and all I did is just mapped all the way up here to grab Giant's Blood, because the jewels for Giant's Blood, the Grand Giant's Blood, man, oh my god, dude, it is expensive. We're talking over 200 div. And I'm a cheap man. I'd rather get the build rolling before I mid-tier, right? Okay, for the Giant's Blood, this is what I was talking about. Inherent life is granted, is halved, okay? So all your strength nodes that you're hitting, you're like, oh man, I'm going to have like 3,000 health. And no, you're not. It's going to be halved with this. Okay, you can wield a two-handed axe with maces and swords, but the attributes are tripled. Okay, now you do not have to get this to have this build work. Okay, I'm going to show you after this. We're going to go over the mobilytics tabs. All right, so now for our jewels, you'll want to keep in the range of minion DPS, critical hit chance, and critical damage bonus. Okay, and a presence of area effect is also beautiful. This is a beautiful jewel right here. This is what you're gonna want. Ideally, this is what you're gonna want to look at. This right here, I would say, is probably what you should mainly focus on, is to get these 4 modifiers. Minion deals damage, minions have an increased critical hit chance, minions increase critical damage, and area of effect. Okay, so we need to get our presence up there, get the area, so we don't have to be like right on our minions. We can run around and try not to die. Okay, pretty much. All right, now for this right here, you don't have to get a max jewel for this. Okay, I'm going to tell you a little secret. A lot of people forget jewels are automatically tier 1 modifiers. So you can find these specific ones and have a extremely low roll. Buy it, because it's going to be cheap, because nobody wants to slam it with div. Okay, if you don't care about slamming it with div and you just want that modifier, get the lowest one. They're going to be a little bit cheaper than going for the max tier, and just div it. When you have the extra div, okay, just div it. Try to max out the modifiers on this. That's all you have to do. All right, but this is the perfect one right here. But the 2 main things that you're going to want on this, it's going to be critical hit chance and critical damage bonus for your minions. That's what I would say you want to look for. Okay. At least that, because like I said, we're going to try to get our monkey up to 100% crit chance as high as we can get it. All right, so that's your jewels right there. Obviously, we want companion damage. That's where we were moving to. Okay, base of rating as well, as you can see right here. Evade, you know, 3% movement speed. Okay, some more calling strike threshold and stuff right there for our calling strike thing. Skill support, all right, and obviously poison on hit, duration, blah blah blah. The only reason why we did that, because our campaign is also doing chaos damage. Now, okay, there is going to be a from nothing diamond. All right, that's going to allow you to allocate Black Flame Covenant. Okay, as you can tell, as of right now, these bad boys are 95 div, but they're worth it. Okay, because what it does is it allocates this node right here, so we have a radius. This bundle right here is perfect. Okay, because I'm going to show you why. All right, because a lot of people are picking right here. Minions have a plus 13% to chaos resistant, but the physical damage as chaos damage is also good to have. 40% increase in critical damage bonus. Then we got 20% increase in crit chance, 20% increase in crit chance, 20% increase in crit chance. Okay, then you also get these damage nodes as well for our minions. So this whole entire little bundle here is going to be able to, you're going to be able to choose those to get us some more DPS, because companions also are considered minions. Now, companion nodes do not work for minion nodes. Okay, let's keep that in mind. When you're thinking about that, you're like, oh, I have a bright idea. Don't waste your time on it, because companions do not count. Minion nodes do not count as companion. Well, so if you have minions and you're trying to increase your minion DPS and you're going to hit the companion nodes, those will not work towards your minions. But companions do. The companions are considered minions, so anything that's minion node will work towards our companions. Okay, keep that in mind. Now, what I would do to allocate or anoint or amulet, I would do this. Minions have a 40% increased critical hit chance. I would anoint this to the amulet. I just don't have the gold right now to anoint. Okay, so with that being said, that is it right there. Now let's go ahead and check out the Mobalytics. Alright, here's my Mobalytics. Here's my profile. On Mobalytics, I have a lot of builds set in here and leveling guides. I just started doing that this league. So we get the Huntress in game. We got my leveling guide for the sources. This is a work in progress. I am working on this. Okay, but we got Infernalist minion guide for leveling to get you through the campaigns. Right here's our Huntress Spirit Walker as well. This is to get you the campaign as well. I have noted everything. I did it to where, you know, if you're just starting out, okay, so it's going to help you guys out a lot. Then we're going to go over here. We're going to go to a Huntress Spirit Walker. Okay, now this right here, as you can tell, I got multiple tabs here. Now what if you notice I have not used any uniques on this first one, so this is a cheapie. Cheap. Okay, right here to get your build going. Then we go over to the next one. You're going to see how we're improving a little bit. Things are starting to get a little bit more expensive. Then we're going to number 4. Things are starting to look different. And we're going to our 4th one right here with the 4 cash money right there. All right, now you're going to see a difference here. Things are starting to get expensive. We're starting to use uniques. All right, but the cheap end right here. Boom. All right. And we're going to do this. Boom. I didn't even use that second weapon set. I didn't start the second weapon set until I got 82. Alright, now keep that in mind. So, okay. So make sure you guys check out your descriptions here. Alright, and everything. I've tried to put the stuff in as much detail as I could. Okay, just to let you all know. So we do get a cheaper version. And yes, it does still work. Yes, you can still do tier 15s with it. The cheap version. Alright, so with that being said, guys, I hope that helps you guys out. I hope it does. Alright, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the live streams. I do live stream right here on YouTube, TikTok, and also on Twitch. Pick your poison. Alright, so make sure you hit that subscribe button right here. Alright, so I'll catch you later. Alright, you be frosty, Exiles. Alright, hashtag Peter Game, baby, all day, every day. Deuces.